Hello and welcome to the In My Defense podcast. Welcome back, folks. It is me, your host, Christian, and this is the podcast where we pontificate on our geeky favorites. Basically, this is a show where I bring on a guest and we get to geek out on a specific subject of their choice, but we're doing something a little special here today. I figure 5 episodes in, maybe every 5 episodes or so, we'll get a chance for me to actually geek out on a subject of my choice. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about. I already had my friend ready to come on. We did a recording with him. You're going to hear about Reniel in just a minute. But when I was deciding what I wanted to talk about, that's when Chadwick Boseman, the news about Chadwick Boseman came out and him passing away due to cancer. And I figured I have to do an episode on the Black Panther. The Black Panther is a very important character to me. It's one of my favorite characters, one of the biggest badasses in comics. Chadwick Boseman did a really great job of bringing that character to life, and I figure that doing an episode on that character and dedicating it to Chadwick Boseman, if I had the opportunity to do so, I would do so. And that's what this episode is going to be about. I am in no way a historian on comics. I do love comics. I've been reading comics for most of my life at this point. Black Panther has always been a favorite, always been a staple in my monthly trips. The current series being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates is terrific, so check it out. I will recommend it multiple times over this episode. But yeah, folks, this is going to be an episode dedicated to Chadwick Boseman, dedicated to him bringing this character, the person who brought this character to life, and our appreciation for him. It's very sad news. I'm sure that several of us are still recovering from it. If you really don't want to hear more about the death of such a fantastic person, feel free to move on. This is a trigger warning up until that point. We are going to discuss Chadwick Boseman as an actor, as someone who put themselves in the shoes of this character. But I wanted to get my feelings out about it, because this was something that was shocking when I first heard about it. I didn't move for probably an hour when I first heard the news, so it's totally understandable if someone doesn't really want to hear about that right now. But anyways, don't want to take up too much of your time. I really enjoyed this episode. My friend Reniel Bell, he's been a buddy of mine for nearly a decade at this point. We love talking about this kind of thing, and I figured he was the best guest to bring on when I got a chance to geek out on something myself. That's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to go to inmydefensepodcast.com, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and enjoy. That is recording. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, so here we are. I got my good buddy Reniel Bell back on the pod. Well, actually, no, that's wrong. This is the first time to hear you. The time is weird. Okay. All right, so here we go. I got my good friend Reniel Bell on the podcast. So let me say hi to everybody, Ray.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Good to be here.
And today we are talking about the Marvel character known as the Black Panther. This one's for me. Everyone that's been on this podcast so far has been talking about something that they want to talk about. This is something that I want to talk about. This is an episode for me. This is where I get to be selfish. This one's about me.
Okay, well, what could you think right now about me?
I started a whole show where I could get my opinions out there and bother people with them, so I'm down for it. I wanted to talk about Black Panther for several reasons. One, I actually do know a lot about Black Panther. I'm currently reading the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther comic that Marvel's been putting out. I've read a bunch of comics recently. I've read the Christopher Priest run. I love the Black Panther movie, and also, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away not too long ago after when we're recording this podcast, and I just felt like it was a good situation for me to get like my feelings out and talk about the situation with one of my best friends. Ray, when it comes to Black Panther, like you told me before, like you don't know much about the character itself, but like what is your relationship to Black Panther? And let's see what I'm working with, what kind of canvas I can paint today.
Well, I basically got introduced to Black Panther through X-Men somehow. I remember I don't know, I think he was either the anime or a comic, and it was because Storm was basically married to the Black Panther.
Yeah, they were married for a little bit.
That's how I came into contact with Black Panther. I was like, oh wow, who's this guy? And after I saw that, I started doing more reading about him. I learned a little more about his history, where he is from, and his whole thing, and in Wakanda, and that's how I really came upon him. And then obviously when Marvel brought him into the the MCU, you see a little bit more of him, you see more of his background, his family, and what makes him Black Panther and why he does what he does. So that's how I really came into contact with the character.
So that's cool. I think you have like a general, basically like you've been exposed to Black Panther as much as maybe the average person has.
Yeah.
To me, Black Panther is just this really cool character because for anybody who may not know what the Black Panther character is, he's a Marvel superhero. He's got a movie out. In case you've been living under a rock, he can fill in a lot of roles when it comes to Marvel Comics. Like he was Marvel Comics' first major black superhero. He's the king of a country. He's the king of a fictional country in the Marvel universe. He has access to all kinds of technology and money. He is Marvel's answer to Batman to a certain degree.
Basically, he's like basically the Black Tony Stark.
Yeah, he can be the Black Tony Stark. He can be the Black Daredevil. Now, there's probably all kinds of problems when it comes to Marvel having to turn to their one main. Like they'd have multiple black characters, of course, but there probably is an issue when it comes to having to only turn to one character. When it comes to having to fill in these other roles, like why not make a new black character that can fill in this role and just depending on the one. But it just goes to show like how versatile that Black Panther is. And one of the cool things about that character, and I think the thing to me that makes characters really last a long time is their versatility.
Exactly. Definitely.
We just recorded a whole episode about Batman. Now, Batman is one of the most versatile characters of all time. Because like the new movie coming out is dark and gritty, but we've all seen super campy ass Batman, super colorful and for kids. We've seen the animated series where it's like this dark noir. There is horror Batman. There's murder mystery Batman. There's detective stories. Like Batman is a character that can work across all different types of mediums and genres, which is what contributes to his success as a character. When it comes to Marvel, Doctor Doom is very much that kind of character too, where Doctor Doom is a villain that can fight the Fantastic Four and go on these cosmic adventures, but then he can also be a superhero for a few years and start helping people. He can fight against Squirrel Girl, right? Doctor Doom works and lose. He can fight against Squirrel Girl and lose. Doctor Doom is a Doctor Doom. He lost. All right, I want to get this through. He lost his fight with Squirrel Girl.
At all people, bro. It's Doom, bro. And you lose to Squirrel Girl.
But again, Squirrel Girl. All right, look. In his defense, Squirrel Girl is the most powerful character in the Marvel universe, hands down. Yeah. But Doctor Doom. It says something about that character where Doctor Doom can go up against all kinds of superheroes. He's everybody's superhero in the MCU. He's been up against T'Challa. He's gone up against the Black Panther. And it doesn't make him any less threatening as a villain when he's fighting either against a street thug, or he's fighting against street heroes, or he's fighting against gods, basically, right? And Black Panther kind of works in that same way, too, where you can tell all kinds of different stories about the Black Panther. Like the current series that I'm reading right now, that's still ongoing. It's written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. For anybody who's not familiar with, he's a pretty well-known journalist. He just did, I think it was People magazine. He was one of the people behind putting Breonna Taylor on the cover.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's written books about President Obama. He's all into politics. You see him on the news all the time. You can read his articles everywhere, read his books. He's been writing Black Panther for years at this point. And he's writing for Captain America.
Oh, Cap.
Yeah. So Ta-Nehisi Coates is a really terrific writer, and he's currently telling a sci-fi story with the Black Panther. He's not like, I mean, all stories with Black Panther are sci-fi stories, but this is like a cosmic galactic war interplanetary story where Wakanda it's like in the future where Wakanda is this nation that has spread to other galaxies and has become a conquering nation across all of space with other alien races and all this other kind of things, and it's kind of lost its way in the future. Like it's not the same Wakanda as it was back on Earth, where other aliens are now Wakandans, and it's up to the basically reincarnations of the characters that we're familiar with, M'Baku and Nakia and T'Challa, to come back and take their place as the true rulers of Wakanda and make Wakanda a free nation and to save the galaxies, save the universe, basically. And it's this really cool, hard sci-fi story that's really badass, and I'm really loving it right now. But it just goes to show like what kind of things that you can do with the Black Panther character, because in the comic he's not a king, he's a slave who's remembering this past life that he had, and he's working his way up to becoming like this great famous warrior. And again, I'm not finished reading it. I don't know where it goes up to this point. I'm in the middle of it where he's now just accepting that role, but it's really cool. Yeah. I recommend. But yeah, when it comes to the Black Panther, like, I think a lot of the time people ask, like, what inspired the Black Panther to happen? It goes into Marvel history a lot. Like, Black Panther was created by the ultimate Marvel duo. It's Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Anybody who's into Marvel to any degree whatsoever has probably heard of Stan Lee. He's the guy that came up with a lot of the... Yeah, he came up with the idea for a lot of these characters. Jack Kirby was the artist who designed a lot of these characters and probably did a lot more work than Stan Lee ever did.
He did. I think he did. I think he definitely did. Stan had the ideas. He came with the look. Depending on who you ask. Like, Jack Kirby wrote the comics. He designed and drew and wrote the comics, and then Stan Lee just came in and filled in the speech bubbles, depending on who you ask. But in fact, Chadwick Boseman died on Jack Kirby's birthday. Wow. Seriously?
Yeah, if there's any kind of like poetry to the universe, that is right there. Where the guy that became a star, who brought Black Panther to life, dies on the birthday of the guy that created Black Panther.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
But Black Panther, his first appearance in the comics was Fantastic Four number 52. Which came out. He came out in the middle. It was like the middle of the year in 1965 or 1966. I can't remember right now. I made notes. I should check notes. But so when people ask like what was the inspiration for the Black Panther, like, if I could say anything about Stan Lee and his contribution to Marvel Comics, it's that Stan Lee, like, I think it's clear that he wasn't racist. Right? Yes, he became this really old white rich dude, but one of the cool things about his mentality, I don't think when he created all these characters, when he created the X-Men or when he created the Black Panther, I don't think he was looking to be an activist to any degree whatsoever. Exactly. Right? He wasn't really trying to say something, but Stan Lee is really good at identifying the zeitgeist of society. Like, he's really good at like pushing buttons and getting into like what people want to read about. And in the middle of the 1960s, what is everybody talking about in the middle of the 1960s? It is civil rights.
It is a bit popular.
Yeah, it is one of the hottest things happening is the civil rights movement in the 1960s. So that's when we see the X-Men come out. That's when Black Panther comes out, right? So like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are probably looking at these as like, oh yeah, we got to get a black superhero out there because a black superhero is what's going to sell. And I know Jack Kirby wanted to do it for a while. There's an early version of the Black Panther before he was the Black Panther, like an early design that Jack Kirby did called the Cold Tiger.
Cold Tiger.
Where basically it's basically a black Superman. Like he's a black dude. He looks like, if you look at the old original design, he looks like Barack Obama wearing a black he's wearing a black and yellow striped Yeah, he's like more like a black and yellow striped onesie with white sleeves and white legs and like a black cape with a red interior, and he has no mask. He's not wearing a mask. He's just full on. This is a full on black superhero.
Just stuff like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And and that was the early design, and then they obviously changed the name to the Black Panther. A funny thing is that I read was that there was probably a few Panther characters that had come out at this point, because I think an easy question that'll come out to people is when you hear the name Black Panther, is like, is that the name of the people, the political party, right? Like, and then so I think officially the Black Panther Party was established in September of 1966.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, my grandma talked about that when I was younger. Yeah, I think it was September. Yeah, around that time.
And Fantastic Four number 52 came out in July of 1966. So it came out like almost half a year before. So now people was like, did they name themselves after the character? But that didn't happen either, because the Black Panthers got their name from a separate party in Alabama that was trying to like get the black vote out, and so they had taken the name of the Black Panther Party based off of the college mascot of a school in Alabama, and it was their way of It was their way of establishing themselves as separate from, because Alabama in the 1960s was also the home of like there was like a white supremacist Democratic Party.
Oh yeah, like that was like the key place of like the whole racism key outlined down there at that time.
Yeah, like they had like their party symbol, the white supremacists of the Democrats were like, their symbol was a white chicken. Mm-hmm. So when people talk about the stereotype where black people eat chicken, that's because eating chicken is a rebellious act. It is an act of rebellion. Eat all the chicken you can. You are actively working against racism when you eat chicken.
I had some last night. It was damn good too.
Yeah, not Chick-fil-A though. They don't like gay people. Fuck them.
Homemade chicken.
So now we like, there's evidence that like maybe Jack Kirby and Stan Lee named themselves after the same people who named themselves the Black Panther Party, but even that might not be true, because the thing about Jack Kirby, there's a reason why people call him the king of comics, right? He is the dude, like he designed Captain America. He designed the Avengers. He designed he didn't design Spider-Man. Sorry, he designed.
I meant it, right?
He designed the original Avengers. He designed the original Avengers. He designed the Hulk, Silver Surfer, Galactus, the Fantastic Four. He did all these characters that are still around to this day. But in his early start, like he was telling. One of the early stories he ever told was Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. That was him just rewriting his old World War II stories on a fantastic level. And there's evidence, I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but there's evidence that like there was a battalion in World War II that would paint like a symbol of a Black Panther on one of their tanks, and it was like a black battalion in World War II. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Do you actually know that? I'm not even sure if you know that for sure. Are you just agreeing with me? Or?
No, I do know that because I remember in school during history class, we talked a lot about like civil rights back in the days. We talked about a lot of stuff. Talk about Pearl Harbor. Talk about World War II. Talk about a lot about racism back in the days. So I remember my teacher did say something about the black vote during that time, by the Black Panther and stuff like that, and that does ring a bell in my head when you just said that. So I'm not too much details about it, but I do know the outline what she was talking about at the time. So yeah,
that was dope. And then like Jack Kirby was a World War II guy. He fought in World War II. He killed Nazis, man. The guy was a badass. And it's totally possible that he took the symbol that he saw on the side of a tank and he turned that into a superhero.
That's crazy. That's inspirational, man. That's nice.
One of the less inspirational things was so if you look at the cover, if you look at that first comic book of Fantastic Four where Black Panther shows up, in that comic he beats the ever living shit out of the Fantastic Four. I was reading it just last night. He he invites the Fantastic Four over to Wakanda to show off some technology.
Hey, whoop that
So, like,
ass.
yeah, first of all, he's showing off. Hey, look, I got better tech than you guys have. And then second of all, he just shows up and he straight up clowns them. He embarrasses the Fantastic Four just for fun. He wasn't even doing it just like to kill them. He just wanted to show that he was a cool hunter. But in that comic on the cover, Black Panther he's totally covered. He's just wearing an all black. He's just wearing like an all black suit with like a really cool like cape, like a short half cape on his back. And the reason why that is, like, when it comes to the design, I think Jack Kirby and even Stan Lee wanted to make it clear that this was a black guy. Right? They wanted to make it clear. So, like, covering him up doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, give him like a half mask, or that's why the Cold Tiger had no mask at all, right? They wanted to make it clear that this was a bad guy because they knew that that's what would get people's attention. But I think it was Marv Wolfman or whoever was running Marvel at that time. They were like, nope, gotta, no, can't, not on the cover. You can't have a black dude on the cover. That ain't gonna work. So they changed the design of the costume, so he was just completely covered. But by the end of that first comic book issue, he takes the mask off completely, just so it's 100% clear that the dude is a black guy. Yeah, which is really cool, and that's one of those like really cool origins, and it goes into the origin like it's like a trilogy kind of, where it goes into what made the Black Panther, and a lot of the stuff that we saw in the movie that came out in 2018.
Yeah,
I can't remember using.
I think 2018. Yeah, because
2018.
19 was Infinity War. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. So the 2018 movie, we see a lot of the things you see in that movie, like Claw. Claw was the guy that killed T'Challa's father in the comic. Wakanda, the high technology of Wakanda. It being like this super advanced city. The design of everything. It's very evocative of those old Stan Lee and Jack Kirby stories. A lot of that stuff made it all the way into the movie, more than 40 years later, which is really cool. A lot of the stuff that you see in the movie also came from the Christopher Priest run. Christopher Priest was one of the few black writers that Marvel had at the time, and this is like 1990, like late 90s, 1998. I think he had taken over for the run. And the character he creates, Nakia, he creates Okoye, he creates Everett Ross. It was Martin Freeman's characters in that movie. Killmonger was a major. He didn't create Killmonger, but Killmonger was a major character in his stuff. So, and a lot of the stuff like that happened in that 1990 series that going into the 2000s, like Christopher Priest added a lot of stuff to the canon of Black Panther that went into the movie as well. The only problem was that the Dora Milaje, he creates the Dora Milaje, which was the royal guard of the Black Panther, the all-female royal guard. The only problem with them is that in Christopher Priest run, I guess to make it seem like more of like a foreign country, like they have different customs than us, the Dora Milaje were also like possible wives to the Black Panther.
Wow, so really?
Okoye, so in the comic, Okoye and Nakia are like, ever since they were little girls, they were like groomed to become wives to the Black Panther, which is, gross.
Yeah, that's kind of nasty. Yeah, think about it. That's kind of nasty. Yeah, that's not talking another day. Oh man. So wait, did he also create Shuri?
Shuri. Let me see. Let me double check that.
I never really heard much of her in a comic book.
She's been a major. Shuri has been a major character for some time now. Like she even got to be the Black Panther for a little while. T'Challa.
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, T'Challa was dead for a little while, or like he had lost the right to become the Black Panther, and he lost his right to be king. So Shuri, being the next in line, was the one that got to take over for him.
Okay.
Which was dope. It was a cool thing. I'm excited to see if they ever do that in the movies.
I think they will. Especially in a time like this, they definitely might. If not yet, they will consider it in the future.
I think someone's really. I think sadly, I think that conversation is happening now.
Yeah, so they gotta do it. I mean, it sucks because you can't recast them, man. Like if you do, it's like it's gonna be too soon. Like you have to do something with Shuri. Maybe she takes up the mantle, and maybe something happens where like they figure out they had like a brother somewhere. Like I
don't want them to do like the Princess Leia thing where they just like take footage and try to like make something out of that. Like,
no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
at all.
if T'Challa, if they do continue trying to tell Black Panther stories, if T'Challa dies off screen, I'll be fine with that. Or if I don't want them to replace the actor either. Man. It's a very complicated conversation.
Yeah, that's
but no, Shuri's only been around for about 15 years at this point. Shuri.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
Yeah, she became a character in the next run after Christopher Priest left.
Okay. Yeah,
but she was cool and like that. But it was all those characters that we see in the movie were characters that had been popping up, very fairly recently. I think it wasn't until. It wasn't until the 2000s that Black Panther really started like to acquire a place in the MCU as this heavy hitter, right? Like in the comics,
all that secondary, like probably even that, not even that.
In the comics, he is canonically one of the 8 smartest people in the world.
Okay.
He's up there with Victor Von Doom, with Tony Stark, Hank Pym.
So what's his order number?
The order tends. They never really talk about definitively who is the smartest. I think that's another thing that separates. I think number 1 is probably Reed Richards, which everybody agrees on.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because he is totally a genius. Yeah, I can see that.
But maybe Dr. Doom might be second, but don't tell him that.
or don't tell Skipper. Don't go there and smack the best out of it.
But it's very dynamic, that order, whatever it might be. They do a good job in the comics of never actually like talking about what the exact order might be. There was actually there was a storyline a while back where the intelligentsia, like these band of evil super smart villains, came together to kidnap all the 8 smartest men and use them for some kind of evil plan. I think they were trying to turn everybody in the world into Hulks or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, damn, you want that to happen, especially the best minds on the damn planet.
Yeah, Bruce Banner is definitely on that list. I believe so too.
Stark is too.
Yeah, it's like Stark, Bruce Banner. Like when it comes to like the super geniuses, you can name them really quickly if you think about it long enough. But T'Challa is there, and T'Challa has done like a lot of really cool things, especially in the last few years when his popularity has gone up so high. Marvel, like, of course, like once word of a movie starts coming out and they hire an actor to start playing the part, they want to get that character out there as soon as possible and try to like make them the forefront of storylines. So like Black Panther became a member of the Illuminati.
Oh, he did?
The Illuminati in the comics.
Oh, comic book. Okay.
Because there's a different context to the Illuminati in the Marvel universe than it is here in real life. Where in real life, Illuminati is a conspiracy theory about like major government figures and celebrities all getting together and trying to control the world. Yeah, fuck that. In the comics, the Illuminati is basically a group of the leaders of the Avengers teams.
Okay.
Major leaders in the Marvel universe of the superheroes. So it's like Tony Stark is there, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange. Doctor Doom was villains. Right? No villains.
He's a villain. Yeah, I know Doctor Strange. There's Reed Richards. There's Bruce Banner.
I think Professor X.
Professor X definitely was in there.
And T'Challa. T'Challa's on there too. Basically, I think they played around with Captain America being on the team, but Captain America wasn't really down for a secret cabal of heroes making decisions for the entire world. So like he bounced off of that real quick. Yeah.
He never is. That's not his character.
and T'Challa wasn't really in for it either in the comics. T'Challa would be like, because his one of the cool things about his character is that he's very much Wakanda first. Mm-hmm. And one of the coolest stories that they were telling, the really cool thing that Ta-Nehisi Coates has been doing is when he first started his run on Black Panther is the balance between being the king of a country, being like a country's world leader, and being a superhero. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that is the duty of the Black Panther. The duty of the Black Panther is to be the spiritual and legal leader of your nation, and not necessarily to go around the world fighting alongside Captain America.
Exactly. That's a lot. You think about that's a lot. It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, and like when Ta-Nehisi Coates took over the run, he was making like in a way he's making a comparison to Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. Because I think he had a book or he wrote a bunch of essays about this, but like Barack Obama surprisingly talked about race like less than any other president in history. Mm-hmm. Right? And it makes sense why, right? Because like as soon as the black president is talking about race, that's all that anybody can ever think about.
Oh, like, yeah.
People would assume that he was being biased whenever he was talking about race, even though like even if he tried to make the best points possible, people would fight him on it as much as he could. But I think Ta-Nehisi Coates was trying to create a version of Obama that he wanted in T'Challa in a certain way, where T'Challa is okay with like change and he's not conservative at all. He's okay to follow through with change and try to make the world a better place for as many people as possible, especially when it comes to his own country, where Obama had to make a lot of concessions.
I can see that. I can see that a lot. Damn. Now I definitely feel like I should I go back and like read those damn comics for Black Panther. Just get a little more, like familiar with his background, like you're saying right now. The Ta-Nehisi Coates stories are really good, and there's a lot of like I was talking about with like the sci-fi story. Like there's a lot of like political intrigue, and it's really interesting going into it. And you say right now in the comic book is so he died and he was a slave during this issue.
So in this current series, it's like it's taking place in the far future, where Wakanda has spread across different galaxies. And the Black Panther is the king. The Black Panther is the king of all these galaxies, but the Black Panther is not T'Challa in this world. It is, guess who? It's N'Jadaka, who is Killmonger in the movie.
Really? Really? Wow, yeah. That's not good. Wait, is he the same version of the Killmonger? No, this is the future version. This series is basically taking characters that we know from present day comics and putting them in the future. Okay. Where they're not necessarily the same people, but they are very much the same characters. Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you don't want to fucking Killmonger just fucking ruling galaxies and shit.
One of the worst parts in the part that I'm reading now, and this might be a spoiler for anybody that wants to like get into these comics, but in the part that I'm reading now, N'Jadaka has broken off. Like, so what makes you the Black Panther is being supported by Bast, basically the Black Panther god. Mm-hmm. And N'Jadaka was a champion for Bast, but then he broke off ties with the god when he took on a symbiote.
Oh, really?
So yeah, symbiotes. Very recently, symbiotes have become like a major threat in the Marvel universe, just because like they found like a symbiote god, like all black, and they're very much like this cosmic threat in the universe. And N'Jadaka had taken on a symbiote and had used its power to separate himself from his god and basically be allowed to rule Wakanda in space without having to be the champion.
Wow. Damn. So they are pretty popular right now in the comic books. So that symbiote. Damn.
Oh yeah, for sure. Whenever a movie comes out, that is the focus for years. Like there's definitely an executive producer somewhere who's be like, okay, like we got a movie coming out with these people in it. Let's make sure that they're in the comics, they're in the stories. We want to make sure that everyone is aware. Anyone who walks away from the movies will then go into a comic book store and want to read more about these characters.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Damn.
So yeah, like, and then they end up becoming more like their movie versions. When Iron Man came out, when the first Iron Man movie came out, Tony Stark was not in a good place as a character. He
wasn't, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this was a few years after the comic Civil War, where Tony Stark had been being an asshole for a little while.
Yeah, I think this is when like it was Rhodey actually being Iron Man, right? Because Tony was just too damn drunk and didn't give a shit.
No, that was back. I mean, that was like back in that's the early like 80s or 70s or 80s story. That's Demon in a Bottle. But yeah, Rhodey will take over for Iron Man every once in a while whenever Tony can't do it. But I think around the time that the first Iron Man movie came out, Iron Man might have even been brain dead to a certain degree. Like he wasn't Iron Man at all. But then the movie comes out and it's a super success. So now we have Robert Downey Jr. in the comics, basically.
Damn. So did a whole damn 360.
and that's what happens. That's what happens to all of them. Like whatever is successful about a movie, the comics just take that on and add to it. Yeah, so like Killmonger became a lot more popular character, and you see him a lot more in the comics after that movie came out. M'Baku became a major character, and he became a good guy. Like in the original M'Baku was a bad guy.
He was bad.
Yeah, he was the White Gorilla. He was the guy that challenged the Black Panther and took his throne. So
wait, he actually did take his throne in the comics?
I think there's a version of a Black Panther origin where it's M'Baku who becomes king of Wakanda and kills not T'Challa but T'Chaka.
Okay. Wait, that's the brother, right? Is it?
T'Chaka was his dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah, where it's M'Baku who kills T'Chaka, and there's a version of the origin where that happens. I'm not sure if it's still canon anymore, but T'Chaka dies, and then basically it makes T'Challa Batman, where he has to go off, train, and come back and take the throne for the Black Panther.
Wow. So it's a Batman origin story, fam. That's what really going on. Damn.
I mean, that's the thing with like, well, that's cool about Black Panther is Wakanda in and of itself. Wakanda's this really cool character in the stories and in the movie too. I think we can bring in some more stuff about the movie now, but like, watching one of the most interesting things about the Black Panther movie is the Wakanda as a character and how that culture actually like works. It's a very chaotic system when it comes to like picking your leaders and stuff like that. Like the idea of not really voting for your leaders, but doing it trial by combat.
Oh yeah. The whole combat thing. It's like it's what happened in the movie. Like that's how
it's a very chaotic way to make things work because when you're living in like a lawful society, the idea is that the person who's best for the job is not necessarily the person who has the job. The person who is the leader of your country or your district or whatever doesn't necessarily have to be the best person for the job.
Exactly.
Right? Because like when you're living, like I think monarchies are very much like lawful. Like it's like this person is king because their dad was king, and then their son will be king. Their son will be king because they were king. So the idea of the way that Wakanda works basically is like, no, we want the best person for the job to have the job. So if you want to be the Black Panther, if you want to be the king of Wakanda, you have to be the best fighter in the country.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, is it though?
I mean,
because like if your country, if you live in a superhero world, you live in a world where there's like existential threats to society, and supervillains are a real thing, right? So the idea of your leader should not only be a great king, but to become a great king, you also have to be a powerful person. You have to be physically powerful. You have to be capable of handling physical threats, while also being able to handle all the political duties. The idea of trial by combat is not really out of the question, right? Because like, oh yeah, this person did this, then they might be the best person for the job. And if anybody doesn't like that, you challenge them.
That's true. That's true.
Right? If you think you can do better, then fight this person and prove it. ask Ryan Coogler. That is the whole plan that Killmonger has in the movie, right? Because
yeah, that's true.
It's very well written. Killmonger doesn't have to prove to himself that he's better than T'Challa. He doesn't have to prove to T'Challa that he's better than T'Challa. He has to prove everybody else. He has to prove the rest of the council that's sitting in that room when he makes his challenge, right? Because if he can get that council on his side, then he becomes king. Killing T'Challa. If he wanted to just kill T'Challa, he could have done that. He was a spy. He could have snuck into the castle. He knew where Wakanda was. He knew how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
He could have snuck in and done his shit. But he wanted to be king. Mm-hmm. So to do that, you need to challenge T'Challa in combat in front of the rest of the council, and you have to make sure that the right people are on your side.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's talking to W'Kabi, the first thing he does is he brings Claw to W'Kabi. Because he knows that if he brings Claw, then he has that guy on his side.
Mm-hmm.
And if he follows the trial by combat, he has Okoye on his side. Because even though she's a good person, she'll follow the law, right? So she'll do whatever he says if he becomes king.
Exactly.
And then all he had to do was kill T'Challa, and then it was done.
So he did a bad job at that.
The Black Panther movie is not perfect, but it is very well written. Ryan Coogler went above and beyond for that movie.
He really did. It's a really good movie. That's one of their best movies. Besides the Winter Soldier, in my opinion, something like that. So that's really good movie.
Kind of like what I want to get into now is just like what this character, thanks to the movies, thanks to the comics, thanks to like his appearance and all these other things, what it means to people, right? Because like representation is a thing that I will always like cheer from the top of mountains about. Like the more diversity that you have in the media that people absorb, the better it is for the world in general. One of my favorite stories about Black Panther when that movie was coming out is like little kids like walking around in the movie theater pointing at the poster and just like pointing out the characters and just being like, that one's me, that one's you, that one looks like you, that one looks like me. Like that is like one of the best things about it. Everything, Black Panther could have been the worst movie that ever came out, and I would have been happy with just how excited everybody else was about that.
Yeah, everybody was really happy about that movie. Everybody was extremely happy about the movie. That was one of the most most exciting movies that I've ever seen people get excited about. You know what I mean? Like people that wasn't even a fan of Marvel at all went to watch this movie. That's how big it was. You know, like I remember
because imagine it, like again, I don't know if anybody's figured it out by now, but Reniel is a black man.
Mm-hmm.
You as a black man, how do you like when you're deciding what movie you're gonna go see? Like, do you want to see yet another action movie with a bunch of white characters and like the one token black guy who doesn't have to do anything, right? Or do you want to watch like? Do you want to watch the movie that looks like it's you and your family?
Yo, yeah,
it looks like it's family.
It's like, yo, that could be me, my brother, my cousin. That could be somebody. You know what I mean?
One of my some of the behind the scenes for the Black Panther movie were some of my favorite things because all the actors and Ryan Coogler himself all talk like the people that I hung out with.
Yo, they were really down to earth. Like the whole like after the movie like was wrapped in the whole like press release and the media run, stuff like that. Like I've never seen actors so emotional, you know, talking to fans. Like I remember Chad was talking to some girl about what it meant to be Black Panther and like in a time like this when the world and like race and stuff like that, he just butted out crying, you know, saying, hey, this is an honor to do this because I could just give hope and inspire other people that they know, hey, you can do the same thing as well. You know what I mean? Just keep fighting and keep believing in yourself. And there's nothing that, you know, you can't achieve on your own, you know, regardless of your skin color. You know, and that's what's so exciting for the movie. And it had to be one of the most anticipated movies of Marvel, besides like Endgame and all the Marvel like Avenger movies. It was really, really, really popular, man. It was a great time to be back. You know?
Yeah, it really shows like how ingrained the Black Panther has become with the Marvel universe, because like Wakanda, it was a really cool decision all those years ago, to have Wakanda be the source of vibranium, and vibranium is probably the most important resource in the Marvel universe. Like, vibranium is an ingredient to making adamantium. Right, which is the metal attached to Wolverine's bones. It's what Captain America's shield is made out of. Right. I was really excited in watching Age of Ultron, and they mentioned Wakanda because Ultron wanted to make himself a body out of vibranium. Right, so it just meant, okay, like, this means that, like, Black Panther is on the horizon, because you cannot tell Marvel stories without Black Panther, without the Black Panther and Wakanda. Exactly. Without this African nation, the center of everything, you cannot tell these stories without it. Right?
Because, like, that's what makes it so awesome, man. Like, that's what makes the MCU so awesome. I mean, yeah, they work. Each film works off each other, right? So it's like, and it builds each other up. Even if it's a bad movie, it's still gonna build a good movie up that's coming out in the future. You know what I mean? So I think that's what makes it so appealing to the audience to say, "Hey, look, man, the MCU is like, it's based like the MCU is kind of like nowadays kid Star Wars. It is for like back in the days, like some people love Star Wars, like some people love the MCU. It's like everyone has a different style that they enjoy. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm a damn big fan of MCU. Actually, I like Star Trek better than Star Wars. I don't know why, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it was just a great moment to finally see, a Black hero, as like the main focal point of a movie. You know what I mean? And like someone that actually looks like me, or just to have that feeling. You know what I mean? So it's just so great.
Yeah.
So great.
And I think like the big ups to everybody that decided to do that. Like and like I said, the people on the ground level are the ones putting in the most work, right? Because the executives in their offices, they just want the money. They don't really care about representation. They don't really care about they don't really care about trying to help people and make and like inspire people to do better, right? If Black Panther had been a failure, then we might not have ever gotten another movie ever.
Never. I mean, you would have got something, but it would never be a Black lead hero. Nothing ever again. Like
Black Panther would have been. He would have been the Hulk. He would have been the new Hulk of the universe, where he's just a side character in other people's movies. Exactly. Which I love. I love Mark Ruffalo. I love the Hulk. Hulk is one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and it's stupid that we have not gotten another Hulk movie.
He's been done so dirty, man. The Hulk is such a good character. Like he's been done so dirty.
I want my World War Hulk. I want my World War Hulk.
Like, but when you think about it, there's just so many stories that you could play with the Hulk.
But like going back to like Black Panther, like Black Panther is another one of these characters that like you could tell a whole bunch of different stories about, which I mentioned before. But when it comes to the different types of stories, so we have the movie which tells the story about like the politics of Wakanda and this political discourse and someone bringing in and upending everything, and also the talk about colonialism. It's a hard word to say for me. The whole and what that was about. It was funny because I think both Black Panther and I think Thor Ragnarok came out within a few months of each other, and both of those movies to a certain degree were about colonialism. Right, because like Black Panther was talking about like the whole thing with Killmonger was Black people are suffering all over the world and we need to stop it.
And he's not doing anything about it.
And then Thor Ragnarok was Hela coming in and being like, everything that we built on the backs of slaves and people that we conquered. Right? You may not want to admit that, but that's the truth. And Thor. Yeah,
you got a point there. That definitely is true. Like they both preach the same kind of.
It's a thing that has been spreading. It's an idea that people are trying to like talk about more and more out in the open, and unfortunately, nothing has fucking changed. Nothing has changed.
All those years, and nothing.
But I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that like people get inspired and can keep trying to do more. and like I wanted to do this episode like because like seeing Chadwick Boseman had died really hurt. I was in shock for like an hour just sitting by myself like trying to like take all that in after it had happened. And he was this guy who had
so young too.
43.
So young.
43 had been fighting cancer for years, and he brought so much joy to
crazy, man.
to literally millions and millions of people, and probably has changed the world for the better in just like a few short years.
I think he did, man. Like, I mean, I knew of him before he took the role of Black Panther, and he was, and everything that I saw him in, he was always great in it. You know what I mean? And when he was announced as Black Panther, like I remember the day I was home and I think Marvel would have some kind of press release thing where they had the fans there, and they had, this is when they announced Civil War. This is when they had Captain on stage with Iron Man, and they had those two standing against each other. And then out of nowhere, you see Chad come out, and he's just announced as Black Panther. You know what I mean? To like be like the middleman between them. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, this is gonna be a good move for Marvel. And years later, look what happened. And it's just so unfortunate that, you know, he's no longer here with us at this time, man. It's like he has so much more to do, you know? And it's like,
as much as it hurts, like losing him and missing out on, it probably hurts. It hurts to see him gone, and then also hurts to see what he could have done in the time, because again, as a performer, he seemed to be making a lot of really good decisions. He was a presence on screen. Like he was not out of place, literally playing a king.
Mm-hmm.
But he can do that. Then he can also play like the police detective in 21 Bridges. He can play James Brown. He can play Jackie Robinson. He can play Thurgood Marshall. He can play all these major figures in history.
Guys. Man, this is crazy, man. Like that just shows you talent right there. That shows you talent. Like, this guy, he can adapt to any situation when it comes to, you know, performing arts.
And I would say like not even just talent, but also look at the decisions that he made, right? Like he's playing like these major figures in history, and even if T'Challa is a fictional character, that does not make that character any less historical than anyone that he's played before, right? And so the dude was making active choices to play these people who literally changed the world, and to portray them in a way that also paid them respect and would inspire more people after him to do more. And that's it, just to do more and try to change the world in positive ways.
That's crazy, man. Like, you're right about all of that, man. You pretty are. Like, I've never seen him in a bad role. I've never seen him in something that he felt out of place. Everything that I saw him in, it felt like he was in the right place at the right time. And when he, you know, it's like you said with Black Panther, yes, he is a fictional character, but when he played that character, he felt like you could actually be this guy. You could actually meet this guy, fly to Wakanda, and be a part of his, you know, of his life. Because he just seemed so real when he was on screen as that character, you know. And it's like, to just sit here today and just keep thinking about that. He's not here. Like, he's only 43 years old, man. 43. Like, he had so much more to give in his career, in his life, with his wife and family. And it just would have been so amazing to see, like, what more they could have done with that character as far as Black Panther. Like, we saw what he did in Civil War. We loved him in that movie. We loved him in Infinity War. We loved him in Black Panther. We loved him in Endgame and the little time he had. And just imagine, like, much more he could have done. It was like, man, what a letdown. But he's in a better place right now, you know.
Yeah. So I think a good way to end this episode. I think I've already thought of mine. Do you have like a favorite moment of Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, or maybe even in any other movie you might have seen him in?
It's definitely gonna be Black Panther. My favorite moment is when Killmonger is just like sending out, the soldiers out, to the world to help, the other black people in the world, and then
And he comes out behind the crashing plane.
He thinks that everything's all okay, and he's dead. Next thing you know, a plane goes down, and you hear that music, and all of a sudden you see him stand up, and his master fades away, and you see his face and say, "Oh shit, it just got real, bro. Like the king is here."
Well, yeah. What was the line that he did? It was like, the challenge is not complete, and as you can see, I am very much not dead.
Yeah, he said, "I'm not dead," and then he's like, "Nah, man, forget that, man. You already won this fight. Go and do what you gotta do." It was like, man. It was just like, and another thing was when he defeated Killmonger, he still treated him, as a friend. Like, he treated him as if he did nothing wrong. Hey, we can save you. We could do this for you. And Killmonger decided, no, I don't want to be a prisoner. I'm just going to kill myself. So it was like, man, that just shows you the human side of that character. And it's
probably
so sad,
and he had one of the biggest lines of ever. I think it was like, I don't want to be a prisoner. Bury me with my ancestors at sea when they jumped off the ships.
Yeah. I was like, that's a killer line, bro. It's like, damn. That was
I should have gone first because my moment is not going to be as pretty.
It is. I should have went last.
But basically, no, it's a simple thing. It's actually like two moments that work together. Mm-hmm. It was his not his first appearance, but was his first appearance as Black Panther in the movie. But then during the airport battle when he's fighting Hawkeye,
Civil War.
Where Black Panther starts fighting Hawkeye, and then like Hawkeye just like, "Hi, I'm Clint," and T'Challa just says, "I don't care."
I don't care.
and then 3 years later, we have Endgame, right? And it's the final battle in Endgame where everyone is playing keep away with the gauntlet.
Oh, the gauntlet, yeah.
And when Clint had just escaped out of the compound with the Infinity Gauntlet, right? And then T'Challa shows up in front of him and he goes, Clint, give it to me.
I was like, yo, you know his name.
Now he cares. Now he cares.
It was like, wow, that is a good moment. That is a really good moment. Yeah. Oh, man. That's good, growth. Man.
All right, man. We're gonna end. I'm sorry, we got to end on a downer. But if people want to know more about you, if they want to see where you're at on the internet, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Reniel Bell. I'll spell it for you guys so you see Reniel, last name Bell. You can follow me there where I do a lot of filmmaking stuff, a lot of fitness advice. I'm actually going to start up a YouTube channel with my wife about film critics and doing some reviews and basically everything about cinema and television and maybe some even like things with cooking, So just follow us, be aware, and you're gonna have a good time, But it was great being here, Juju, man. It's just such a downer right now. Like, man. Mm-hmm. Man,
yeah,
tough.
Well, it happens. They're not all gonna end happy.
Yeah.
We'll see. I can't wait to try to close this. Thank you so much, Ray. It was a pleasure having you on. You're one of my best friends. I love you so much.
Love you too, man. Love you too, man.
Rest in power, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, man. And until we meet again, I guess, right? There's that. For sure.
And that's the episode, folks. Hope you enjoyed. This one was really fun. Thanks to Reniel for coming on the episode with me. Really appreciate that, buddy. I'll put Reniel's social links on the show notes. Maybe some links to some of the Comixology digital comics of the comics that we referenced in today's episode. If you guys want to read up on Black Panther. If you do want to read up on Black Panther, almost every single Black Panther comic on Comixology is available digitally for free at the moment of this recording. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but folks, take advantage of that. They have the Christopher Priest run, they have the Ta-Nehisi Coates run, they have Black Panther, Agent of Wakanda. If you want something more humorous, there's Black Panther versus Deadpool. Check that one out. Really jump on that if you get the chance, folks. If you enjoy the show, please rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Give us that 5-star rating, make us easier to find. Any suggestions you guys might want to have, if you want to maybe apply to be on the show, if you want to criticize me and give me some good advice on actually how to do this well, and maybe, how to record a really good outro eventually, reach out to me on the socials. I am Chris Rivera on Twitter and Instagram. You can also email lengthy criticisms. You can email me at inmydefensepodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, folks, I will see you next week. We out.